a little tiny Xi Jinping that grows up and tells you how great Xi Jinping is.
Lovely.
Well, that's biased, but that's inevitable. They already have it as
Mm.
an app that actually tracks your
Seriously?
eyes. Yeah.
What?
Well, it's not an AI, but they have the little app of Xi. It's this like little book where it actually tracks your eyes for attention. Like, are you actually looking at this?
Does this feed into the credit score?
I'm not sure if it's been hooked up, but of course it will be. Why wouldn't you?
This is so
With a
scary.
train.
So look, I thought, we were on the happy part. Now we're back to that. But
But
that's
the
really terrifying. And when you have a state that is not interested in any individual,
you got the collective.
yeah. So I don't know if this is true, but I saw a headline that said in China now, the phone will alert you if somebody with a lower social credit score than you is calling you. And it warns you if you answer this call, it will lower your credit score.
It's effective, isn't it? I
Yeah.
mean, even if it isn't true, again, it fits the objective function of perpetuating that particular system, which is not necessarily our system, but systems around the world shift.
Mm-hmm.
So this is why you have an inherent bias. Whose bias is it? Who's the one who creates the AI nanny?
Is
And
this
what
why you're
by
doing things regionally?
this is why I'm doing things regionally, but also allowing people to own their own models. So the objective function of the model can be that. Like in Web3, there was the saying, not your keys, not your crypto. So my saying is not your models, not your mind.
Mm.
Because I do think we'll outsource more and more of our cognitive capability to this. It will be our co-pilot for life. If someone else is making that model and deciding on things, what's going to
Wow.
happen? Like the UAE had this model Falcon. It was a big open source model, and they were like, wow, it was actually Lighton from France who were behind it, but let's leave that to one side. You ask it about the UAE and human rights, it's like, this is a wonderful place full of fantastic things. You ask it about Qatar or Saudi, it's not so nice.
Mm.
Who's embedding these inherent biases in these models, right? Whose model are you using? And these can be very insidious, the biases, right? You won't pick up on them, but you hear it again and again and again because is your nanny a conservative Republican or is she a libertarian or things like that? You will be influenced by that if you grow up with them, or even if you're
Massively.
using it day to day. Just the way it's speaking, the way it's thinking, the
Mm.
way it's recommending stuff, which goes far beyond a Google Maps or something like that.
Crazy. All right. So that we don't get lost back down the dark rabbit
The
hole, what
dark
is
rabbit
the
hole.
coolest thing that you see AI doing? I know you're building a lot of different companies leveraging this technology to do amazing things. What are some of the coolest?
So we're doing one company at the moment, which is just let's go. The mission is to create the building blocks to activate humanity's potential. So
The building block what?
our mission is to create the building blocks to activate humanity's
Building
potential.
block stack. Okay.
So every single modality, image, audio, video, 3D, language, sectoral variants and national variants. So you've got like this grid that you can pick and you're like, I'm an Hindi investment banker. I transfer my private data into a chat GPT type thing. That's just trained on my private data. Or I'm a Vietnamese illustrator. I want a Vietnamese cultural kind of image model or something like that. And then you can bring your own stuff to it. That's
Mm.
kind of my goal, which is to enable other people to build on top of what we're building, like a layer one for AI, effectively, but open models for private data. Whereas the other side is proprietary models where you only be able to send a certain amount of data. Like government's not going to run on black boxes. Education, healthcare, you will need to own your own AI. So the coolest thing I've seen is just the promise of personalized education.